This is Dr. Ulysses Morgan. Today is day 9, I think, being camped out here at the station. I have a decent amount of ammunition left, but Grayson better get back soon with those extra canisters for the med station. I've been so used to hearing things scurrying outside. The silence is now what unnerves me. Tried to barricade the door as best I can so nothing large could get through, but I'm no combat tactician. I'm a scientist, for God's sake. I can't believe how quickly everything has gone to ruin. Masterson was right. We should have taken more time and care regarding the handling of these crystalline structures. What were we thinking? Even listening to Derringer in the first place. Zero regard. No consideration whatsoever to the effects our actions would cause. All because he thought he knew everything or had something to prove. Now look at it. Instability throughout this entire area. I wouldn't even know where to start to attempt repairing the damage. Would it even be possible at this point? If anyone back home finds this message someday, tread lightly if you dare to venture deeper into the base. From where I sit, it's about as bad as it can get. Then again, the history of these last few weeks has proven I've been wrong before. Dr. Craig Bentley. Date is, I can't remember. It's been a while now since I've heard from Harry. Lord knows where he is at this point. Hopefully those hound things haven't made mincemeat out of him. They certainly got the best of me. One of the bigger ones got me with a shockwave. It's wreaked havoc on my suit systems. Running low on power now. It's getting harder to stay awake. The adrenaline shot has started to wear off. So I figured I'd try to keep myself alert for this. As I sit here, I've been asking myself, was all of this worth it? Has it really been worth the risk? All in the name of science? The argument has been made time after time that progress often demands sacrifice. I've always believed that to be true, and I still do. Problem is, those who care to argue that point, in all likelihood, never considered that they could be on the chopping block when the time comes around. If I could eat right now, it would be a large slice of humble pie. I'll be surprised with all that's happened here if I see an actual pie ever again.
Audio log, April 19th, 1983. Dr. Derringer here. We had a vote amongst ourselves today to determine the name of the border world. Came down to 2 options. One being Zen, as in foreign, and Crystallia, deriving from the word crystal. While these imbeciles voted for Zen by a landslide, I believe that Crystallia would have been a much better name. It's much more elegant and to the point.
Oh, someone sounds petty about their suggestion not being picked.
I'm not being petty, I'm being factual.
Oh, piss off. You lost the vote fair and square. While you stew in your defeat,
Moving on. I've since sent in a change request for the HEV Mark I. The design of the HEV suit is too flawed for us to continue using it safely. Therefore, I am sending in an R&D request for improved life support systems, improved maneuverability, and reduced weight for when we transport. What did you just drop?
Xenian samples.
For crying out. November 19th, 1982. This is Dr. Derringer, Yale graduate with degrees in both biology and geology. You've likely read some of my studies in...
Derringer, it's an audio log, not a memoir or a resume. Just get on with it.
Dr. Morgan here is clearly envious of my achievements, as he has yet to accomplish anything near the realm of which I have. I'm going to move on now, if that's all right with you, of course.
I'm going to lunch.
This log will pertain to my substantial geological findings when performing tests on the crystalline structures protruding from various surfaces. The only crystals I've researched thus far have been the light blue variety. The others I'll save for a later date. Light blue, being the most common, has the ability to emit pulses of energy without the need for direct wiring. I discovered this phenomenon while inspecting such a crystal up close in the field. A pulse of said energy suddenly shot out and came into contact with my HEV suit. I called Dr. Owens over to inspect my HEV for damage, and sure enough, as he approached, the crystal shocked his suit as well. Soon after, we were both laughing like school children as we realized our HEVs had been charged back to full capacity in just a matter of seconds. So far, neither one of us feels any adverse effects from the incident. I'm confident this discovery is one step closer to realizing a completely clean energy source. We were able to extract a smaller, light blue crystal without shattering it, and it has been noted that the crystals tend to give off a faint, vibrating sensation, and are warm to the touch. They give off little radiation, not enough to harm a human being, and the energy currents only seem to travel to something that already has power within it. Masterson had the genius idea of equating them to quadruple A batteries. Absolutely ridiculous. It's much more akin to a charger, if anything else. Audio log, July 15th, 1983. Dr. Derringer reporting. During these last few weeks, the other team members have been content to salivate over the latest batches of flora samples brought in for study. Meanwhile, I've seen fit to continue my research regarding the crystalline structures. This log will focus solely on my findings on the orange variety of crystals. Though plentiful in the field, the orange crystals aren't nearly as frequent or accessible as the previously researched light blue. They've also proved a bit more difficult to research, as their effects weren't as immediately apparent. From a visual standpoint, they simply give off an orange glow. However, upon extensive testing, I've discovered that the orange crystals, too, are able to give off energy. Unlike the light blue variant, a conductor is required to direct this energy, but thankfully does not require a charge already present at the intended destination. This makes the orange variant ideal for directing power to lab equipment and other related machinery. Now, in regard to radiation, Geiger countermeasurements reveal this variety to emit a much higher level than the light blue, though still not enough to be harmful when handled properly. I'd equate the levels to be about the same as uranium glass. One side note to add before concluding this log. An odd occurrence has been happening recently with the latest orange crystal samples. It seems whenever I leave them in a tray while retrieving equipment somewhere else, I come back and find the samples out of the tray on a completely different table. I have no choice but to conclude that one of these buffoons I'm embarrassed to be associated with has seen fit to start playing tricks on me. Hilarious. When one has to consider the possibility that the staff over at Aperture Laboratories conduct themselves with more decorum. That, my friends, is a sad state of affairs.
Audio log, oh, for Pete's sake, where did I leave? Oh, here it is. The date is July 16th, 1986. Dr. Masterson speaking. The research team has requisitioned again for upgrades to the HEV suit. Now, make no mistake, the Mark II has performed exceptionally better than the Mark I in terms of weight and overall maneuverability. However, the increasing numbers of dangerous discoveries have made necessary to call for another redesign here in the near future. We can't be expected to fend for ourselves in a glorified lab hazmat suit after all. Some of the upgrade ideas proposed by the team include, let's see here, armored plating, small amounts of lead lining, not enough to be toxic, of course, built-in flashlight, yes, that would be nice, rocket propulsion, I'll believe that when I see it, more advanced filters for the helmet, seeing as we have no idea what could be floating around out here, and a sticker kit. Obviously, not everything's going to be implemented, let alone considered. But now that Dr. Vavilov has returned from his sabbatical, I have no doubt that his contributions to the Mark III HEV will aim for a happy medium between the durability of the Mark I and the Mark II's ease of use. Ivan's design work on the Mark I, despite all of its flaws, was revolutionary. Just the biomechatronic implementations alone, my God, I had never seen the likes of it. Not to mention the electromyographic sensor arrays. Whoever dares to follow in that man's footsteps has quite the standard to live up to. Audio log, June 5th, 1987. Dr. Masterson speaking. The Mark III suits have arrived. I must say they're a bit more snug than they look, but the upgrades implemented were sorely needed, so the lack of wiggle room can be excused. The weight is significantly increased from the last model, but that too was to be expected. Regardless, we have quite a few ideas on what to use the new suits for first, the most popular being more hands-on handling of crystals and other samples we collect in general. I'm sure Dr. Derringer is pleased to know that his geological expertise will be put to more extensive use from here on out. Any radiation exposure from the larger crystalline structures will be practically harmless now, thanks to the protection and features the Mark III HEV offers. Dr. Vavilov. Ivan, you old space biker. You and your colleagues back home have really outdone yourselves on this one.
One size fits all, my behind. Ridiculous.
Herman, do you need assistance over there?
I'm fine. Damn this cursed metal shell.
Okay, testing. 1, 2. All right. This is Dr. David Stedler. The date is the 6th of June, 1985, Earthern Standard. We've just finished installing beams to reinforce the platforms crossing over to the deep cave interior location. Specifically, where we've planned the engineering compartment. So far, so good. It's been holding steady. But I don't know how much further we're gonna be able to explore, though. Our budget right now is allocated towards habitat construction and related waste disposal. Yet, we continue placing bridges and walkways to areas that effectively dead ends. There's gotta be a more effective way to traverse these areas without additional cost of material. Drilling tunnels has proven to be torture, and we can't just sit on our hands and wait for next year's budget to be approved. Word has it that there's a new hire back home working on some brilliant solution on how to alleviate some of this problem. Whatever the solution is, one thing's for certain. An intern will be testing it in the field first. That go-kart idea Owens had back when was a disaster.
Oh, speaking of which, that new girl did say we might be able to reuse those ramps as a supplement for what she's got in mind.
Well, I never say no to recycling.
Never did figure out where Owens landed, did we?
Porter, there's no way that go-kart survived.
This is Dr. Annabelle Grayson, Medical Officer. The date is March 18th, 1996. Today marks my first entire week spent in the border world, and all things considered, I think I'm settling in well. I feel right at home here. Dr. Masterson and Dr. Foster in particular have been very welcoming to all of us in the new group of arrivals. Although, now I'm here, I am kicking myself a bit that I didn't take up Dr. Simmons' offer to tour the A-17 labs. There's a good chance by the time my rotation has ended, A-17 will be fully decommissioned. Then it'll just be Lambda Labs from here on out, to and from. It's just, I was on such a roll working with Dr. Cross updating the HEV Mark III's medical systems, I didn't want to stifle the momentum. I guess now I'll just have to content myself with the task of repairing these older health stations while I'm here. To be fair, the engineering on these units are actually quite impressive, considering what the design team had to work with back in the day. But I don't think anyone could have anticipated the regularity of use these things would endure. The wear and tear present here is not encouraging, and the weights of the capsules themselves, yikes. I think the next health station design just needs to have an internal reservoir to hold the equivalent of 2 or 3 of these capsules. In conjunction with the more concentrated formula we've been testing, that would definitely stretch out the intervals between maintaining these stations. Well, stations criticisms aside, the updates we've pushed out have made the Mark III HEV better than ever. Dare I say, it's the best it'll ever be. And I told Gina as much, just before I ported over. And that's when I finally saw it. That wicked little smile of hers. Dr. Vavlov once told me to be on the lookout for it, and sure enough. Yeah. She's got something cooking.
Okay, it's going. The date is April 24th, 1982. Dr. Andrei Pekovsky speaking. We are here at our newly minted mining site. We've set up our post, laid out instrumentation, and we are most definitely putting the sticky launcher to work. The launcher itself is performing as expected. No jam-ups so far. Downside to the site's location is that it's a bit of a hike from here back to base camp. We may have to put up more signage in the future so no one gets lost on the way to and from the site. There were some concerns that the yield for the charges we have wouldn't be strong enough for the sections we intend to blast. But so far we've been able to clear out various trees and other local fauna to start laying down the main tribal path. As for any rock faces we've tried to blast, it's a bit of hit and miss. Stronger charges may be in order for those areas, but for now we'll make do with what we have. We'll just toss a couple extra charges in for those particular areas and clear out further back than usual.
How many charges do we have left?
We're okay for now, but that was what I was saying before about the downside of having to hike back so far.
Not much we can do about that until we get more reliable local teleportation working. Which could be years.
Had I known better, I would have brought the third box along. Good news is the revived launcher model should arrive this weekend. And it will have an auto-load feature.
Ah, so no more pinched fingers?
Well, you'll still have to load it at least once.